I want to talk about this because this is a serious problem for a lot of people. You want to know when you're being treated for something medically that you're actually being treated for the right thing. What are the problems and complications that you see every day?
Well, especially with thyroid and especially with women with thyroid, up to 97% of them who are diagnosed with a thyroid issue don't have a thyroid issue. They have an autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's. An autoimmune disease means your body is attacking your body and it's genetic. And so if you don't have a thyroid issue, but you're being treated for a thyroid issue, how are you going to actually get the right treatment plan? And especially now with days of COVID and how important your immune system is, because everyone needs to realize your immune system, your health does not come in a pill. Okay. And so it's very important now that your immune system is working properly. And what happens is when you're diagnosed and then they give you a pill, it's typically something called Synthroid or levothyroxine, which is the #1 prescribed medication in the world, about 23 million a month. And that's not the issue, or at least the entire issue. Women get super frustrated.
How are you supposed to know, though, if you are actually not being treated for the right thing?
Well, you need to get tested. And the problem is this, is women typically, the most common symptoms are inability to lose weight despite a good diet, exercise, hair loss, hair thinning, inability to sleep, can't fall asleep, can't stay asleep, very sensitive to hot or cold, infertility, extreme tiredness. And so you go to your doctor hears those symptoms and says, hey, that sounds like a thyroid issue, and gives you the pill. And then you go back and you do the same test, which is a blood test. And they say, listen, your TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, is now normal. We're good to go. But the symptoms continue and even get worse at that point. So you would be frustrated, and it's totally understandable.
So this has to be frustrating to women, and that's why there's so good that they can turn to you. How do you help people out?
Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to determine what is the proper diagnosis. Do you have a thyroid issue? Most women aren't tested properly. A full thyroid panel has 11 markers, and most women typically only get one test, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. So what has to happen is you need to look at the entire body and properly test. What type of tests that could be causing these symptoms? It could be mold issues. It could be toxins. It could be heavy metals. It could be inflammatory issues. It could be gut. It could be adrenal glands. So all of these things need to be looked. Hormones, huge issue. All of these things need to be looked at. And then what happens is the doctor can then look at those specific individual tests and then come up with a customized plan to handle those based on the individual test, not just it's one size fits all.
Now, is this a test that we need to come in and actually see you in person for, or are you doing some of these screenings virtually?
No, what's actually been very interesting during these times of COVID is everything can be done virtually. I mean, in terms of what we do, which is called functional medicine, we don't need to actually touch the patient. We're talking to the patient via Zoom, via phone calls, and we can order testing all over the world. We can ship whatever types of supplementation all over the world. And so it's, in terms of efficiency for the new normal we have going on, it's actually much more efficient because the patient now doesn't have to jump in their car, get into traffic, find a parking spot, come into your office. The office is running behind, and then jump back into the car, back home. It's so much more efficient where patients can actually get treated from the comfort of their own home or their office or their car while they're driving, as long as they're paying attention. So it's very efficient for the population now in terms of this.
You described the whole process and you're like, oh yeah, I'd much rather do this virtually. Tell us where we go to figure out how to sign up and get more information from you.
Our website is called thefunctionalmedicineinstitute.com. There should be a link to, especially for thyroid people, to go to our free thyroid webinar, where it's about a 20-minute webinar where we get into more depths of the specifics of how we look for things and why we look for things, and then what type of patients we're looking for. They can also call 600-1645. That should also be there as well. So either of those ways, you can get in contact with us.
Excellent. Dr. Wander, thank you so much. I've already been to that website because I was told the same thing about my thyroid. So I'm glad you're getting to the bottom of it. Thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
A reminder, you can sign up for their free thyroid workshop at the website listed on the screen or call 888-600-1645.